Alright guys, here we are from the trailer reaction. Today we're reacting to the trailer for the movie Carter and June. Now Carter and June has a pretty nice looking poster here.
Of all the things I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to do a Betty and June sequel with the guys from Get Carter, and now we're going to do a thing.
No, like
legitimately
something about it reminds me almost like of the Kingsman or something. I
color
like the
scheme
guy.
is good, yeah.
Well, what is do you know the character's name from Deadwood and Psych?
Detective Ludke? I don't know his name.
I forget his name. But whatever that dude is in this, it looks like he's the bad guy. I think that character is very good. Everything I see him in is 100% different. He's a really good actor.
Yeah,
it looks like
true.
he has some great facial hair going on in this one. And that alone would make me want to see a movie. And there looks like there's some weird bikini SS person in the corner. And
which just adds points to it.
It looks like a young Jack Bauer is the lead. I'm like, what do we got here? This seems and is an even younger Woody Harrelson on his right? What is this?
How do you feel about from the producers of Napoleon Dynamite and this being an action comedy?
So Napoleon Dynamite, one of the movies I hated most in the world until I saw it a second time.
Is that what it would say? What if you fell asleep during the first time? Do you think a second time would still work?
I did that though.
I did that too. That's what I'm saying.
I said I hate this. I was with a group of friends, and that came out when I was in high school, I imagine, something in that ballpark. So Napoleon Dynamite, we're in someone's basement watching this movie, and I am audibly saying how much this movie is shit. And I eventually just took a blanket and curled up and went to bed and said fuck this, I'll watch the next movie. And then a few months or years or whatever later, I picked it up and I was like, you know what, this is a beautiful cringe movie. This is actually pretty good. I didn't give it. I think I thought it was going to be something else, and because of that didn't like it, and then came back to it, and I was like, nah, it's pretty funny. And,
I think I did the same. Everybody was quoting it, and I remember watching it and being like, well, that was kind of funny, I guess. A lot of this is not that funny, though. I don't know if this is my thing. That's going to suck. I'm going to have to be... And then I fell asleep. I was 32 minutes into the movie.
What I think is interesting, this looks like a spy, action-y thriller type thing, or mistaken identity thriller.
We gotta go get the diamonds back and switch them with my luggage. Yeah.
But when you write very prominently from the producers of Napoleon Dynamite, you're trying to get something from that. If it were completely unrelated, it would be a very weird pull, and why would you even advertise it? So I'm thinking this must be funny.
Well, yeah, it's an action comedy, but the Napoleon Dynamite angle, I'm wondering if this whole time it's just going to be weird. You got to feed the llama. Yes,
No, I think it's going to be.
Is that because you're fat? I'll vote for you.
I think it's going to be more in the vein of a Game Over Man, something like that.
Yeah, it better not be Napoleon Dynamite, is what I'm saying.
I actually feel like this is going to be really funny.
I hope it's really
knowing
funny.
Nothing about this at all, or even the plot. I didn't even know it was a comedy officially until you just said you had read the comedy.
I want to blow up the spot on that.
But yeah, no, I'm down 100%. Let's check it out. So that trailer seems to be very much an undersell.
Ooh.
I think there's a lot of potential here.
Do you think that potential all got filmed?
I don't
and
know.
put into a movie?
I really can't tell what there's an issue here. I just can't put my exact finger on it here. We have some weird exposure choices. That one is something that just it grabs me.
Define that. You mean photogenic exposure? Or?
So when you're filming for Star Trek, they were like, hey, we need a lot of sunbursts and some bullshit. And this is hey, can we go a little bit where we just have a little bit too much of a peaking of light from windows here? Let me get a lot of zebra in the camera.
Blown out the auras around certain lighting. Yeah.
A little bit too much for me.
Interesting.
It's a stylistic choice because it's done throughout the trailer, so it's not just that one scene's weird. Interesting.
Glad you called that out. We usually don't talk about.
We've got a lot of characters here that are putting a lot out there, but I don't know if it's exactly what is needed. It's either a hair too much or a little bit under what I think should be delivered.
I think that I agree with you, and my way to try to sum it up would be, it sounds like if you took a song and you mixed it so that none of the instruments were prominent, they were all just sort of mixed together.
Exactly. There's nothing shining.
And some of them were well, that's in the same key and stuff, but it really should be in its own song. It doesn't fit with this beat or something. It'd be this weird
and
something
it could be the
click.
trailer because I do like the characters. So I didn't notice the fake Jack Bauer guy I was talking about. That's the guy from True Blood, the fake Cajun. I don't know what his real name is.
I love how we get to the end there. Agree, totally.
But I like him.
Yes.
He was also in a show with the guy from what was that? The Grounded for Life, something dogs, Straw Dogs or something dogs. I forget
Alpha
what that's
dogs,
called.
Beta
No,
dogs,
that wasn't it at all.
Gamma dogs.
No, Terriers. I don't know. Something with dogs.
Bloodhounds.
But I like him. He's shown that he is funny. But something about this, it seems like all the timing is off. Like it seems like you took all the rehearsals and made them into the movie
Holy crap.
rather than
Shots fired.
No, but and again,
I hear you.
I still think I want to see it. Don't get me wrong, but there's just something a little awkward, and that could be the Napoleon Dynamite aspect of this, where it is supposed to be a little awkward because it feels off. It doesn't feel like a polished thing, and maybe that's because in real life people don't talk like they're in the movies, and things would be a little more awkward, and it could be a choice. The whole thing could be a choice, and that I find pretty interesting.
So that's what Napoleon Dynamite really stood out for, is that you would be like when like mainstream stuff does cringy stuff, it's like da 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 da. We're cringing now. It's like very like called out. But like indie comedy that are cringe is just like it's like real cringing.
You ride a line where it's like, is this bad or intentional?
Yes.
And I do think everything in this was intentional. I think it's all stylistic choices and all directorial choices as to how he got these from that. Because like the guy. Stabler, was that his name? What the fuck?
No, that's from Benson Stabler's from Law and Order.
You're right.
Maybe they're both named Stabler. No.
I don't remember what his name is, but the guy from Psych.
He looks great in this. He looks really good.
No, exactly. But I know him to be a great actor, and the way he's acting in this doesn't feel like what I normally get from him, and that's why I think that the director was really on his actors about making them do things a certain way. And it does feel more like people talking than it does acting. But if this were done in a movie with a much lower budget, if these weren't actors I know of, I would have been like, God, this movie is shit. Like, but do you know what I mean by that?
I do. I totally do.
There's a big difference between a creative choice and something where it's like, oh, they couldn't get it done in the right take.
This is the best you could do, right?
Yes. While this, I think, is a choice to make it seem more realistic and odd and weird and off-putting. And not bad actors.
And I agree with the. I was gonna say lighting, but I think you're right. It's definitely like exposure choice.
It's a weird exposure.
It kind of makes scenes feel somewhat more dreamlike or whatever. I don't know. Again, if it's accidental, that's really bad.
But that's the same thing. Where
right,
if in a low budget movie, I wouldn't even make that pull as to say, oh, this is the choice. I would say the DP didn't know what he was doing. But in this, it's a weird. Everything is super saturated with light.
I'm hoping that it's a love story, fairy tale, crime like fable about It's not quite literal or something like that.
I don't know, and I do like the character. I think he's gonna have a lot of good little quips.
Yeah.
Like, would you die for her? Well, if I didn't have to, would you die for her? And I'm like,
even
all right.
the end, like, follow my lead. I always do. Like, it's like, it's like a little charming, like, whatever. Yeah, no. Huh.
But yeah, this looks interesting.
I can't hate this. It's very weird.
No, and it's something so peculiar because if it was done, looking at this, it has a number of set options, which already makes you think it has more money than it would. So, like, if I saw a lower budget movie, I would think, okay, it had a couple $1 million. This, much more than that, I would imagine, because of just the caliber of actors you have in the film. But on any other movie, I would say, wow, that thing had no budget. They didn't know what they were doing, this and that. But this, I'm like, it has crazy actors, it has a good budget, it has this and that. Like, no, it's all stylistic choices, and I'd like to see what they do. Churn out.
It reads
Does
as
it
a
all
real
come
movie,
across?
totally, yeah.
I don't know if it would be hard to capture, again, because it's awkward comedy. Can you just not get that in a 40-second trailer? Because it has to, it needs that breathing room for that weirdness to set in. Like Napoleon Dynamite's trailer, you look at it, you're like, what the fuck is this? After you've seen it, it's all in context and it's funny. But when you're looking at it, I'm like, what is this? It feels like the little skits that would be in between like Nickelodeon commercials. Like what is this shit?
Yeah, I wonder if like a short clip, like a 90-second scene from this movie might communicate more. What it's
I believe
going for.
It would.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to give this thumbs up.
This up?
I'm thumbs upping because I'm supportive enough of the characters and that they would make a choice for a good movie that the script is probably there. So yeah, thumbs up. That's both of us.
I agree.
Well, let us know in those comments below what you think about this. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.